I'm Tyler Webster, and this is the Western Wing Shooter Podcast, presented by OnX Hunt and Boss Shot Shells. Also with Tim Brown, Wess Larabee, George McNamara. Did you see Wes doing the walker? Well, everybody, welcome back to another episode of We Don't Need to Hear It Twice.
I'm not ready yet.
All right. So welcome back to another episode of the Plus Size Models Podcast. I am your host, Tyler Webster, here with Tim Brown, the Bearded Uplander, Wess Larabee, the gray beard of North Dakota or something like that. It's just starting to
he's starting nicely. Look at that stuff right there.
Looks like a weird old professor from somebody's college that they didn't like.
Yep.
And of course, out on in our East Coast studio, aka George's basement, George McNamara, Coach Mac and Stash. How are you boys doing over there?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's snowing as we speak right now down here, and I don't like it.
I bet it's a hell of a lot warmer there than it is here because it's cold here.
Is it? I don't know.
We're not supposed to get above 0 for the next, 72 hours?
Well, it's going to be, wow, with the wind chill, I think like the lowest it's going to get is 40-something tonight, and then it'll warm up to like -1 tomorrow.
Yeah, -22 for a low tonight air temperature.
Yeah. Oh, heat wave.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't too bad this morning when we got back from running around because there was no wind blowing.
No,
you were
too bad. On the backside of the house. That's why it wasn't cold.
In the sun, it felt all right. But end of next week, we're supposed to actually start getting a dose of spring.
Into the 20s. Holy crap!
20s and low 30s.
I'm gonna start. I broke the shorts out today when I seen it was gonna get 20.
Flip flops, man.
Right,
it's flip flop weather.
Yeah.
Wes broke down, went out and bought a whole bunch of ice fishing gear yesterday. So the next weekend is going to be the first time we're going to be able to get out and really give that stuff a try. So
we are on a mission.
Yeah.
Hey,
I said in 2 weeks.
My buddy's up in he's up in Bitter and up there by Wall Bay, and they were hammering them last weekend.
I heard
they're catching the big jumbo perch again the other day.
Yep.
It hasn't been good anywhere here from what we've been hearing, but everybody here, they all fish out of the ice castles. And so they set them and forget them. Like if the fish are where the ice castles sit, they're going to do all right, but nobody's moving around. So I think that if we get out with the portable stuff that Wes just got, I think we're actually going to be able to go out and put some effort in and hunt them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I bought
thinking. Live scope so we can scope, find them, smash them.
Yep.
We're going to be out there shining the spotlight down there in those slough bottoms.
I bought one so I could use it on the ice and then buy the adapter and put it on my boat in the summertime.
Yes.
He's going to use it for catching those spawning smallies on the beds.
You don't need it for that. It's when the summertime and they get out in that 20, 30, 40, 50 foot range is where you need it.
Where they're suspended, or even when they're out on hugging the bottom on the brake lines. It's a hell of a lot easier once you find a big school of them with that than it is with anything else. So Tim, me and George and Wes earlier today, we officially recorded the longest podcast in Prairie Tales podcast history.
Oh my!
And one of the longest in both Western Wing Shooter history and Birds, Booze, and Buds history.
Wow!
It was about 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Hell yes!
And it was a how-to tutorial on how to, from soup to nuts, from start of the season to breeding habits to cover habitat, all the way through the end of the season for both sharptails and huns.
Hell yeah!
I think it went really well. There was a lot of really good information in there. We talked about shot size. We talked about choke tubes. We talked about their movements throughout the day. We talked about, kind of what we're looking for in a spot, early season, mid season, late season, how the birds are going to act, all of it. So
that's awesome. That'll help a lot of people out.
Yeah, it's so we put it out to the Patreon patrons first. It's going to actually drop probably while we're doing this podcast, since it took us a little longer to get started than what we were anticipating.
Yeah.
So for the first week, it's going to be on the Patreon only. It's going to be a Patreon patrons only podcast, and then after that, we'll put it out to both both of the podcasts at the same time. So, and then we're going to do one on pheasants next, which we're going to have you come on. Because the difference between hunting up here compared to down there is a little bit different. The birds are still the birds, but the habitat and all that kind of stuff is just, it's different.
It's a different strategy.
It is. And then we're going to do some on the quail species. We're going to do one on probably bobwhite and prairie chickens together. We're going to add those two together. We're going to do one on the
sage grouse, mountain grouse together.
Yeah, sage grouse and mountain grouse. And then we'll do one on quail down in Arizona. And we might even try to fake our way through one on chuckers and huns out in Nevada and Idaho. I mean, we're not experts, but you know, we killed a few. So
we can call in a special guest for that one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can get Ryan Newmarker on and Kirk Adams or something like that. And have some people that, you know, that have some different areas of expertise. And, you know, like Kirk hunts the Hell's Canyon stuff. It's not like what Ryan and Jason hunt down in Nevada at all, but Ryan and Jason have been up there.
Same kind of cover, just
terrain's different. Terrain's different.
Yeah. Well, and I think the big thing that's really different is the amount of pressure.
Yeah.
The amount, and so the way the birds act is just totally different. Kind of like what you guys hunt down there compared to what, you know, if you're hunting a piece of plots land in North Dakota in October or November, and you're hunting a piece of private stuff down in Iowa that just you and your buddies are hunting, birds are going to act different. That's just how it works.
Oh, dude, that post the other day went just. People were just ripping me apart because they were like, "You're too loud walking through there." I'm like, "These birds are probably a month old."
Yeah,
I said,
you got them named basically,
and they're out in the open. I don't know a single pheasant that's gonna sit tight for you when they see you out in the open,
right?
And they're gonna run back to cover. And then if one goes, guess what? They're all going.
Yeah.
But the good thing about early season is they're going to go 50 to 100 yards and sit right back down. And
then run for a quarter mile.
Like, so it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how loud you are on private ground. They're not going to go that far.
No. But so we did that today. So we've published 2 podcasts. Recorded a really long one. Now we're doing another one. So me and Wes, we're revved up, man. We're just full up on caffeine and nicotine, man.
We only drank 2 pots of coffee today, and
I'm surprised we can see him, George, with all that shit they've stacked so high today.
Well, you know, it's funny. It was an informational podcast, and there was a lot of information.
There was a lot of
everybody
for sure.
You know, George kept telling us to slow down. He was trying to take notes.
He was jotting notes.
My hand cramped. I had to get a massage thing out. I was massaging my hand.
That has to be done, though. You know what I mean? Like, somebody needs to put that out to, you know, if nobody's ever gone after them to understand the damn bird.
I'm sure telling you, 5, 6 years ago, I would have been sitting there glued to it, probably jotting a few notes. And listening intently, you know, until you know, you don't know. And that's one of the things we talk about. You know, we want to that I'm able to help with, because it was just a few years ago. Well, there's still plenty of time in the present day too, but you don't have a clue. You don't have a clue, and you're just looking for someone to throw you a bone to get you rolling in the right direction.
So Tim, I'm sure you experience it all the time. I know that we do for sure. People will send us DMs on Instagram or whatever. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for?
Yep.
From this day on is what we're going to do is we're going to be like, go back and listen to episode 342 for Sharp Tails, because that is way more detailed that I'm going to be able to get in an Instagram message.
Yeah.
And I did the how to e-scout with Onyx video a few years ago for Sharp Tails.
Yep.
So now it's going to be like, all right, in that video, you can actually see what the cover looks like that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Then you can go and listen to the 2-hour-long podcast where we just bury into how all these birds act, you know, we covered from the popcorn flushes to the sentry bird that goes out early and the rest of the coveys still right there, you know, covey goes, get up there because there's always a late riser, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's going to be really good information for the people out there listening that actually want to come and do some of these different things. You can learn from our mistakes in some of the other states that we've hunted. And Jeez, I don't know which dog that is, but oh my god, ooh, dude, I'm just hoping that wasn't Wes, because if it was, man, he's rotten from the inside out. If that was CJ, my goodness, little dog. It's not so much the smell, but the burning of my eyes. Yeah, it's not good.
Does it taste like that chucker?
It wasn't her. She's being a good little girl.
Oh yeah, she's a princess. She's a gassy little thing sometimes, though, for sure. Then the second thing that I wanted to ask, George, is how often are you on that elliptical that's behind you in this shot? Because it looks like you're recording this from 24-hour fitness.
Okay, right now I have doubled my time this year.
It makes it really good. Be honest. Clothes dryer, doesn't it?
I got to be honest. I have been on it once this year. Last year when I picked it up, it was every day for 2 months straight. I should get my ass back on it.
Is that after you had your hip done?
No, it was a year after my hip, but that was why I did it, because I needed to get more strength in my hip. It was only about halfway back, and now it's about 75% back. What's nice about that, there's just no impact. You just get your cardio up and you keep it up for however long you can stand it.
There is zero machines in the gym that I hate more than that one.
Oh, I hate
Nope, I hate the elliptical. I'd rather walk on a treadmill that's elevated or climb stairs.
Stair climb.
That's what I do. Yeah, and I can hate that machine as well.
I was going to say, I hate all three of those machines.
Dude, you get on that stair climber for 10, 15 minutes is what I try to do. Is I try to do 1,000 steps up, which you can do in about 15 minutes. But you just hate life at that point. Like it is not an enjoyable time, but you get the whole workout in 15 minutes. I hate an elliptical.
Isn't it
Those things
funny?
hurt my knees.
Isn't it funny how we don't even think twice about the exercise we get while we're chasing birds?
No, but this time of the year, I don't want to go to the gym. It's cold outside.
It's because you're not thinking about the exercise. That's the whole thing of it. I got a TV right here. I flip the TV on, and if I can get a show that's interesting, next thing I know, I've done 25 minutes to a half hour on it, and
Don't lie. Goes by. You got an interesting show. You get off that, and you're back in that chair right there. You're sitting watching.
No. But if you don't have anything to keep your mind occupied, and all you're thinking about is watching that timer,
she wouldn't make a stinker like that. Oh, she's so nice.
She's a sweetheart.
She's so nice. Yeah. Did you make smell bad? Did you? It wasn't good.
So you're saying I should not bring this out to North Dakota when I come?
I mean, you can probably drop it off at a Goodwill, or put it in the barn or something. We could put cricket on there for a while before you go hunting.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking we should put it in a Quonset hut, and we could hold a fitness camp as well as a training camp and everything else.
That right? Oh yeah. I can just see the signups coming in for that one. Also, anybody that's signing up for a fitness class by somebody that looks like this,
they'll eat well.
Boy. I went to a bird hunting boot camp and I gained 7 pounds.
At Globo Gym.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to do the Cobra dance as we're walking out.
So being the plus size models podcast, and Super Bowl. What was the anybody have any good Super Bowl eats yesterday?
I had some Dove poppers. That's what we had.
The hell did we eat yesterday? We had bratwurst.
We had 2 bratwursts.
I had 1. You had 3.
Oh yeah, I had 3.
Yeah. Because I'm on a diet.
Well, no, don't let him lie to you. It was because he had just ate all the leftovers out of the fridge like 10 minutes before.
Yeah. And I was a touch hungover from pool tournament weekend in Minot, and food didn't sound all that good.
But they were good brats.
Yeah. And we watched the first part of the Super Bowl, and then I watched
the middle of the third quarter, and I said, I'm done. I'm going.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
I couldn't have cared who won less. If there was a way that both teams could have just tied at 0, I would have been happy. But that could just be me being a Vikings fan and hating both of those teams quite a lot.
When it was 30-something to nothing, I knew it was over.
Yeah.
Hey, the Iowa boy got a pick 6. That's all that matters.
You're damn right, didn't he?
Yeah.
I was
on his birthday. On his birthday.
Well, he got 2 picks last night, right?
No, he only had 1. Blankenship got the other one.
Oh, okay. I thought that was him too again.
So you said you had some dub poppers last night at Super Bowl party?
Yes, sir. We made some
Nice.
jalapeno dub poppers. They were really good. I was like, I still got 4 bags of dubs in my freezer. We gotta get some of them used up.
Yeah.
I still have
to get rid of them.
I still have my 2 turkeys in the freezer too that I need to. I think this weekend one of them's gonna get smoked.
Speaking of turkeys, guess what's coming up, Timmy?
I know, dude.
Guess what's coming up?
I went by my one field that I have permission for. Where my buddy Alan's boy shot his first turkey a couple years ago. There was about 150 of them out there, and I was really excited. I was really
salivating
excited.
a little bit. Yeah. Our turkey applications here are due in
the 12th
in 2 days. And then it's hilarious with the turkey draw. Like you guys all know about, I guess, I don't know if you guys even have draws for whitetails there.
Yeah.
But here with whitetails, you have to have your application in by June, and then they tell you like a month later if you drew or not. And so there's all that anticipation. The turkey lottery is a little different. They hold the lottery on the 12th, and you're notified on the 13th that you got a tag. Like there's not a lot of mystery there.
Right. Probably not near as many tags issued.
No. Yeah, I think, God, I want to say there's something like 40-some thousand rifle tags statewide, and probably.
Or are you talking about turkey tags, Tim?
Turkey tags.
There's 4,000 and some, I think. This year
they increased it by 400 and some tags.
Yeah.
Now, do they issue it by county, zone? How does that work?
Unit.
Yeah. So it's like a zone. They're
52 units,
something like that. There's a bunch. There's the whole state has turkeys of some stripe, so they have and the Game and Fish, I talked about it earlier in the podcast, but I really enjoy how they do things. Like they do turkey surveys, and they'll increase based on like each unit. And this unit down here has more turkeys than last year, but the unit next to it doesn't. This one gets more tags. This one gets less tags.
Sure.
And so they do a really good job of actually managing that. And there's always some units with leftover tags. So that way guys like me and Wes that are a little bloodthirsty can get multiples.
I know.
Sure.
They always have leftovers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Iowa, if you're a resident, you're guaranteed to, no matter what. You just have, it goes by season. It goes, so you can pick 1 through 3, one season, first season, second season, or third season. Then you get a tag, and then your second tag has to be 4th season, which is the longest season towards the end of the year.
And that's just a week long, isn't it, Tim? Because I've applied like twice in Iowa and been rejected both times.
So, like on first seasons during the week, it's a Monday to a Thursday. Second season goes from Friday to Wednesday. Third season goes for a full week, and then 4th season's like 3 weekends.
Yeah.
Is what we should do, Tim, is in maybe George too, if he wants, because he'll be up here by then, and who knows if he'll be able to be started on his house by then. Maybe the end of April we have a South Dakota turkey camp.
If I know I'm going to Missouri on the 26th, but
of April,
but other than that, count me in. I'm in.
We could figure something out.
Yeah.
Black Hills is over Black Hills.
You got a draw now in the Black Hills.
Out of state does?
Yes.
When did that this year?
Yes.
Well,
it's a population decline in the Black Hills has been exponentially large over the last 5 years, and now you have to draw. And
it was always you had to apply. It was always an application,
but now you have to have your application in by like January 20th, and they only give out 10% of the tags in for non-residents, so it's a big deal now.
So we'll talk off mic, but
we got a spot.
And
I got 5 or 6 of them out there. So
and what's nice about our spot is you can get 4 tags.
Yep.
One of them spots.
I'm
in.
4 for the price of 2.
Yeah. I didn't know that. And so they said, well, how many tags do you want? And I said, well, I'll take 2. That would be 2 turkeys, right? Everybody could agree on that. I get an envelope and there's Jesus. I don't know which is it CJ? Do you need to go outside?
Getting worse.
Holy buckets, man. That's awful. Oh, this is a small room, man.
I was going to say it doesn't help that office is tiny. It doesn't.
The way Wes is acting, I can almost smell it over here.
I'm very. You guys are very lucky. This isn't smell-o-vision because
it's bad.
It's not awesome.
That was the worst one.
Well, it's not over yet.
Okay, so when Tyler got his 2, I'm like
4 tags in the envelope when they sent it to me, and I literally called them because I'm a nice, honest guy, and I was like, I think you guys sent me too many tags. And they said, well, you said you wanted 2 licenses, right? And I said, yeah. And they said, well, each license is 2 tags, and it was $100.
Oh my lands!
No, $100 total. It was $50 a license.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. And let me tell you, the amount of freaking turkeys is unbelievable.
So he says.
Somebody can't sit still for 5 minutes. It takes off. Oh, I'm going fishing. Me and Burbach shot 3 at one shot, just bang, and killed 3.
Yeah, after I called the guy and got permission for him.
Why not? You took off.
I want to go just to watch Wes do that hen and heat orgy that he talks about.
Yeah, he struts out there with a little fan and everything else. Oh yeah, he's got him running.
Yeah, I need some Sherpas so guys show up and carry them heavy ass decoys around.
The Wes Larabee turkey orgy of death is what he's referring to.
I only set that up in the evenings when I know they're coming back to roost, and let me tell you, it works.
Yeah,
it works.
He needs he does need a Sherpa. He really
I have 11 decoys.
Yeah.
And they're all DSDs.
He's carrying a flock out there in the field. And I'm like,
and that's what you do. I mean, you fool them when you put that. I don't know. Him and Robert came up with the turkey triangle of death.
Yeah, the turkey triangle orgy of death.
Yeah. And all you do is you set them up in a triangle kind of with the ends out front, your strutter behind it.
Yeah.
Then you put a Jake about 10 yards behind it, a Jake decoy.
Yeah.
Any Tom that sees that flock will look at that Jake and just head right for him and jump right on top. You shoot him right
100%. Every single time.
Yeah. And if that Tom don't come in, all you got to do is spin that Jake, because I have one of them spinners on the battery that turns it, the 360 thing. If he's a subdominant bird, you turn the ass to him, and here he comes. If he's a dominant one, you face him. And here he comes. It never fails.
The buddy of mine, well, he passed away from cancer this last year. He was a taxidermist, and we always used to take he had a fully mounted Jake.
Fully mounted one? Yeah.
But the tail, it was on fishing string, and you could pull it, and it would raise the tail up.
Yes.
And then it would lower it down.
Lower it.
When you lowered that son of a bitch down, watch out.
Here they come.
Watch out. They're coming.
I tell you. I know.
That thing, I don't know how that thing even brought turkeys in, because it looked like one of them. Just the worst taxidermy job you've ever seen.
Well, they call mummies for a reason. It ain't like you're doing
that thing killed so many
job on it. You know,
that thing killed so many turkeys. It killed so many turkeys. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I'm committed to at least trying to be a little bit more patient this year. Instead of 10, 15 minutes, I'll give it 25, 30 tops, and then I'm out.
If the temperature is between 50 and 57 degrees.
Pretty much, yeah.
Can't be too cold, can't be too hot.
If it's warmer than about 57 degrees, I'm very liable to take a nap right there. Right there. If it's 65 degrees and sunny out there and end of April and we were up at 5:30 in the morning and probably stayed up too late the night before, naps could happen. Yeah. Just if it's too warm, that's how she works.
Okay, Tim, so the day before he took off to go fishing and left me and Burbach down there to turkey hunt by ourselves.
It was the last day we were planning on being there, to be fair.
We'd
been there for 4 days already.
Okay. And I had found this bird out in this draw, and he was the only Tom in there. And we seen him in this one spot. So we worked up through there. I set out 2 decoys. And I wasn't 3 minutes into calling, and I could hear sticks snapping, and I look back there, and he's breaking sticks, moving around, playing in the leaves with a stick,
just throwing dirt balls at the decoys
for a minute, man.
Well, he's the one who told me. He's like, you don't have to sit still. I was like, so I'm not going to sit still. I'm going to, there's all kinds of stuff to fiddle with out there in the woods.
God damn it, 3-year-old out here.
I'm bad when it comes to that.
He goes, man, I'm going to go see if I can find one. I'm going to drive around. I'm like, okay.
No, we hiked after that bird for a long time.
Oh, that's right. We did. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause that bird, and
he kept cutting the ridge on us. and it was pissing me off because we'd loop around on him and get set up, and he'd come around the end of the, like right off the tip of the ridge and right back down into the bottom, go to the next ridge and call and gobble at us.
Yeah.
So we'd loop around out in front of him again and get set up, and
that wasn't his.
And he died the next morning.
I was going to say that wasn't his first rodeo though.
Yeah, Wes killed him the next day.
Yep, right off the back of a hen.
Yeah.
I mean, right off her back.
I mean, there isn't too many worse ways to go if you don't think about it.
That's what I thought. You know, he got the job done. I got my bird.
Yeah. And there's going to be little turkeys because of it.
Yeah.
And we want those dumb genes to, persist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He wasn't dumb. That's for sure. That was a smart bird.
It's
he was a big bird.
It's really interesting to go to other states too, because like Iowa is, I mean, it is really easy to kill turkeys in Iowa because the pressure's just not really there, because it's
only
limited for
but
it's limited for out-of-state hunters too. Like in my corner of the state, I think they give out 17 out-of-state tags. That's it.
Yeah. Here they don't give out any.
And, and I put in just south of you, Tim, every time I put in.
Down there in the hills.
There's the big ridge lines are all in that public. I've never drawn a tag yet.
You've never, because it's legit difficult to draw one there.
Yeah.
But if you want to kill one in Iowa, you can. I got spots in the southern part of the state where it isn't. There's more birds than you could shake a stick at.
And I like eastern birds. They're kind of
anytime
I like Merriams.
I love Merriams. I could hunt them things every time.
Well, there's nothing cooler than, you get those bald ridges and the grass is just starting to turn green, and you throw up the binoculars and you see a big white fan just out there just turning. Like it's like the white on the neck of a rooster pheasant. It just catches your eye.
Oh yeah.
I think the prettiest one are the Goulds though that you see down in Arizona. Those are cool looking birds.
Snow-ass white.
Yeah, they're even whiter than the Merriams are.
Yeah, you get a lot of cream in the Merriams anymore, and that's due to the interbreeding with the Rios that are coming up from down south in Kansas and Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then all the relocating stuff that gets done
that's
too.
Like North Dakota, they brought in we have all three here. We have Merriams, Easterns, and Rios in North Dakota now.
And me and Nate and Mike last year on opening day, I think we shot a Merriams and an Eastern out of the same flock.
Out of the same flock.
Yeah.
Oh,
one was an Eastern
around
bird.
Here the same way. Around here's the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's they even transplanted some Rios, up in the southern part of South Dakota there. Yeah, up by Vermilion and that. There's a bunch of Rios there too. But
they did that. I don't know.
I don't.
So stupid.
We sent Iowa sent a whole bunch of them down to Texas, and I don't know what they got in return, and I just still don't understand it. But
giraffes.
probably fucking rattlesnakes.
That or what are those great big ass antelope things?
Ibex?
No.
Oryx?
No.
Nilgai?
Audads?
Nilgai.
Nilgai?
They're sending a Nilgai to Iowa now.
Yeah. That'd make the farmers real happy going through fences.
So, George, how was your little hike in the woods the other day that you put the video up on?
Well,
it looks like you were enjoying yourself.
Oh, it was so nice out. I mean, it was the first warm day we'd had in quite a while. We got 4 inches of light, fluffy snow. It was all sticking on the trees. It was picturesque.
Yeah, that was a terrible view that you had. Terrible view. That was awesome.
Well, that's it. I had to laugh because if you watch it to the end, I got the wood duck box up, and thanks for watching, blah blah blah. And I'm walking back, and it was a bitch to walk. I mean, you'd break through the snow, and then you were in that 4 inches of slush. You just you look like Michael Jackson walking across the friggin' lake going backwards. It felt like. So I started my phone back up, and I said, in the beginning of it, I said, I wonder what causes this. What causes the water to go on top of the ice. When I was out there a week ago, there was no water on top of the ice. Then I got all done in the end, and I turned, and I was showing the area, and I was showing that ridge. And it was funny. It was the truth, because I watched it back later. I started to whisper. I said, yeah, and that's where the big bucks run, up on that ridge. Oops, probably shouldn't have said that.
No, the best one was what was it, like 5 seconds into your video? You're like, God damn, real loud, and I goddamn whatever something. I was wow.
Yeah. Well, I was I was in my element. That's one of those, that's right in the backyard of where I've hunted my whole life. So it's a cool spot right there. It's the water in the summertime is about 3 inches deep. You can't even get back there with a kayak. And if you were to get out of your kayak and try to walk, you might as well just give up because you're just going to sink to your neck.
Oh, it's that much mud and dead leaves and stuff like that.
Is there wild rice growing in there, George?
No, we don't have rice up here. There's a lot of lily pads growing. But I can remember being a kid, probably 17, 18 years old, deer hunting down in close to that. And that there was a duck, used to be an old duck blind. It wasn't an old one back then. It was a nice duck blind some guys had back there. And so that's what made me think about that. I went out there duck hunting a couple of times, but I never had much luck there. It's one of those places. It's hard to get to where the ducks are shoot, because it's so hard to walk out through that area. Even around the perimeter, it's brutal, slipping and sliding on those mossy hummocks, if you will.
Did you see any rough grouse sign out there at all? Any grouse tracks or anything like that when you were out there messing around yesterday?
No. There was nothing in that area. I stayed right on the ice the whole time, and I snuck up through someone's camp, up through their driveway, up to where
you outlaw. You're such an outlaw.
They don't care. I've been trespassing around here my whole life. The thing is, it's different. Trespassing around here is so much different than it is where you guys are. They'll shoot you. Here, they just mutter about you. So, think of it.
Well, we got a podcast coming up with a game warden from over in your neck of the woods, hopefully. So we'll get his opinion on such things.
Yeah, he'll tell you the same. He'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah. So, how excited are you fellas for Pheasant Fest?
I'm pumped. I mean, after getting all this stuff taken care of, it was a process, and there was a lot of stress and anxiety involved in forking out the cash for everything that I got going on. So I'm ready. I think it's all going to work. So I'm ready.
That's good, man. Yeah, it's going to be fun. You put a picture or a video up about your booth. Your booth looks sweet.
It's going to be really nice. Yeah.
By next year, we'll have something like that because George is,
we got handy George.
I'll be out there. It's hard to fit much of a booth in my carry-on.
Yeah, then we'll have to empty out Wes's orange decoy trailer and pull everything down there with that to get everything set up. But
yeah,
it's going to be a lot nicer next year.
I had to go help Mark tear down that corn crib, so that's where all that wood come from. That corn crib on that little draw that we hunted.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He's got that thing down on the ground already. It's down. Yeah. He don't mess. No, Mark, he don't mess around.
That's a lot of nails.
Yeah. He's got He's got these tools that he made that you pop them boards right off of that stuff. And that's his, what the heck did he tell me? That's his 18th or 19th barn that he's tore down in his life.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
And and you guys have been to the farm, you know how much of a hoarder he is. So yeah, he's probably still got half of them barns in his freaking machine shed.
Yeah.
I've seen some of them piled behind the big barn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been following your stuff, Tim. You've been putting a lot of work into your posts. You got what's this sweepstakes you got going on? Tell us about that.
So I did a thing, I was just thinking how am I gonna do this to let people enjoy it, because you guys were up there and been to the bunkhouse and stayed, and Sydney Wells and all them from Barstool were there, and everybody just loves that place. So I'm like, let's do something to give back a little bit, but yet I can, get some cash flow to where I can, proceed and get more stuff coming, and then donate a little bit to, I don't know who I'm going to donate it to yet, but it's probably going to be a grouse, conservation group. I'll
give you a hint on who to give to. The North American Grouse Partnership.
Yeah,
that one is probably the tops right now.
Yes, I give to them every year.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. So it's just going to be the grand prize winner gets a 2-day hunt, stay at the bunkhouse for 3 nights. We're going to eat really good food. We're going to go to pretty much all the spots that we went to, Wes and Tyler, and some other ones. And just, whoever wins it, if they've got a dog's welcome, and we're just going to have a good time. And then, second place, I got a Chief Upland vest and a pair of Chief Upland pants for the runner up. And then Ben over at B Pro Kennels gave me a really good deal, a $500 discount on a dog box, and then a shirt and a hat merch for Bearded Uplander stuff.
Some are good prizes.
And
good.
I'll
tell you that just the 2 nights or the 3 nights, 2 days hunting is a hell of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it, Wes. I mean, there isn't much better to get in this area. You know?
Yeah, and
so
the ultimate man cave.
It is the ultimate man cave. There's no doubt about it. So, and it's gone pretty well. I mean, there's been a lot of people getting into it and asking questions, and so it's been a lot of fun. And then I'm going to have just a absolute crap ton of merch down at Pheasant
When
Fest.
are you drawing for that, Tim?
It'll be the week after Pheasant Fest, because I got to give people time enough to get their mail-in entries in.
Yeah.
So as far as the gambling, because if you don't do a free entry, there's like laws that it's gambling, so you have to have gambling license and whatever. But if you have the option for somebody to have a free entry, then everybody gets one free entry, and then if you want more, you just purchase more. So
Sure.
But
all the dogs were acting like they really needed to go outside, and judging by the smells that were coming out of them, they really needed to go outside. So I had to excuse myself and go and kick dogs out, and I don't think they're going to be out very long because it's about 20 below zero air temperature outside right now. So
speaking of dogs, are you taking any dogs down to Kansas City?
No, I'm not, and I'll tell you why. I've always wanted to bring Rusty with. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But God, like, we're going to be so damn busy.
I know.
Like, I mean, we're going to be there every day from the time that they open until, like Friday is a really good example. We'll get there early. The doors open at like noon or whatever.
Yep.
I'll be on stage giving a couple of talks. We'll be in the booth recording podcasts. And after that, we got the Flush Live event thing at the brewery. Then after that, it's the Onyx after party. So, I mean, it'd just be boring for him. I mean, he loves people, and he'd just be happy just to sit there and, make friends. But it's just like, we're just too busy. Just got way too much stuff going on. Not to mention, just like we just got our VRBO booked. I think there's going to be like 10 or 11 of us staying in an Airbnb. So, it's just tough. It's tough. It's a lot. And then you're in a big, giant urban city, right?
Yeah.
I'm not
walk them.
I'm not terribly comfortable in a big, giant urban setting anyways. And my dogs sure as hell are not. Like Rusty would end up seeing more people in a day than he sees in 2 years. So no, we're not going to bring any dogs.
Yeah. I'm taking Mac, but I've got a whole crew of people that are going to be in my booth helping. So they I don't have to worry about him being, not being taken care of. And that dog's so mellow that it ain't gonna bother him. And I'll just take him out to the dog box and put him in the truck, when it's too much for him or whatever. So
I'd still be worried about putting him in a truck.
Well, yes.
You know what I mean? Not being there when you get there.
Yes, but our the Airbnb that we're looking at is going to have pets allowed. So I'm bringing an air kennel so they can run him back to the house if he needs to. But I don't think he's going to be. There'll be a dog bed in the booth too. He'll just go lay down. He don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So, but I know Garmin. I'm going over to the Garmin booth, and he's going to be there. He's going to be their whipping boy. So they're going to put they're going to show people putting collars on the right way and all that. And then Ben's going to use him over at the B Pro Kennels, showing people what the dogs look like getting loaded in the dog box. So he's going to be his little ass is getting.
He's going to get busy.
Yeah, everybody wants to see his ass instead of mine anyway. So
they're the real stars of it all anyway.
Amen. Yep. So
they like it when they get their ass scratched, and you might take offense to it.
Yeah, well,
it depends on who did it.
Depends on who's scratching, I guess.
Well, that's my point right there.
Yeah.
No, we're Wes and I. We've been talking the last couple of weeks. We're excited. We've got a little line of shirts and hats, and not much stuff. You know what that's like, trying to to lay a whole lot out.
Hats and stickers. That's what we got.
I don't know. You can see it, I think. I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's our logo up there in the corner, George.
I'm seeing that up there. I guess that everybody's seeing it.
Yeah, that's great.
We've had some help with that, and I actually found a place that will do a merchandise store, and they wanted to set a website up. So all you have to do is go to a link, and when you click on it, they're everything imaginable, from shirts, jackets. You could buy a Carhartt jacket with our logo on it if that's your choice. I told them to hold off. I want to see how it goes at Pheasant Fest. If we sell 7 T-shirts, well, then that's kind of not much sense in it. But if we sell out and we got a bunch of people that are disappointed they can't get some merchandise, well, then I'll tell the guys to fire up the merchandise store. And
what's nice about that, isn't it, Tim, is we don't have to touch it.
Oh yeah, I don't.
They order it off there. They make it. They ship it. It's done.
That's what my store is going to be for the most part. But like I'm with this whole thing going on, I did the stores before that was like up for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they filled the orders and did all that. You just got to be careful when you go to them stores like that. You just if you have too many options, it overwhelms some people. So try to limit as much as you can. You know what I mean?
So your new logo, I like your new logos.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one with the pheasant on it, with the retro, cool. Dude. Yeah. He knocked it out of the park. Well, I just told him, so I sent him a Turnpike Troubadours shirt. Yeah. I said, make me a logo that is this style. And he nailed it. That one's pretty freaking sweet. that one's pretty sweet, and so is the skull and feathers. I don't think I've seen a pheasant skull, and it's legit a pheasant skull. He found it, and then he drew off it. I never seen a pheasant skull before, so I don't know. He's doing some cool stuff for me. So
if you found somebody that you can utter a couple sentences to, and they come back with something that's better than what you're anticipating, you're on the same page. And those are the type of people you want to stay hooked up with, because they understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and he's a friend, a family friend. He went and he played football with my cousin in college, and we've been friends since. And that was it's been 20 years ago. So he's been a real cool guy, and he makes all the stuff for the local bars, and I mean, he's a big time screen printer. So. Yeah, it helps knowing somebody too that, okay, and I just keep sending him stuff okay, this is what I'm thinking for this time of year. This is what I'm thinking. This is another one, and he's just his graphic artist or whatever you want to call it. Just, he nails it every time. It's great.
That's a good connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's one for you, Tim. We left here this morning to drive up to Powers Lake to go get a mail vehicle and bring it back to the post office here in town at Stanley. You know how you go up here and you don't go across the railroad tracks, you turn north, go over to the highway that way?
Yep.
As soon as you get to the north end there and turn back toward Tom's, I bet there was 4,000 pheasants in that field. It was utterly insane how many pheasants we are seeing right now.
I don't understand it.
They are absolutely everywhere.
That's so amazing that people don't understand when you try to tell them.
At one point in the road ditch, right beside the vehicle, was 11 roosters and 5 hens. Out in the field, there was probably 500 birds on that side. We drive over the knob, and the whole ditch is just like birds running out into the field.
Jeez.
It was nuts. And I don't know, 11 to 15 coveys of huns.
George,
everywhere.
George, they're not getting the job done. Can you help out and thin out some of them roosters next year, would you?
Allegedly, I'm very good at that.
Allegedly.
I stole that from Bob Owens. He said that the other night a couple times.
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, it's funny. The area you're talking about, I was talking to Tom, and he said, well, out there behind the house, between there and the lake, there's quite a few out there. We always hunt the other side of the road, where there's where you can actually
why we don't hunt the south side, I don't know. There are so freaking many birds over there, George. It was insane.
Well, that chain of ponds that run almost all the way down to the lake. What a spot to have a duck blind, you know?
Yeah.
It's
crazy. So and I mean, and that ain't the only place, team. I mean, right here, just east of the house in that stubble field that's right there that they harvested what they wanted to out of it and then dissed onto the rest. The only bushes they have to hide in for any kind of thermal cover is those little bit of bushes over on the east side of that field.
Right.
And I guarantee you there's 150, 200 birds out there every day scratching. Where the hell did all these birds come from? But, everywhere. You know, we never hunt right here around the house anyway.
That's just what I was going to say. We're so busy driving 20 minutes, a half hour, some days an hour to go to exact
somewhere
spots.
Else.
Somewhere else. And your backyard's the best spot there is. But if you hunt the backyard every day, it won't be the best spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it might be something that the last week of the season, that's what you guys key on and just
Well, Tyler did. Tyler did this year. He hunted it the last day. But yeah, I mean, you drive anywhere right now. If there is a cattail slough in a field, next to a field, that field is loaded with birds.
Yeah, there's a lot of them around here too that are out, but they're not even scratching. I mean, this is the biggest snow that we've had, and it's maybe a quarter of an inch.
I know. Okay, so I call my mom and dad. You know, they just live an hour from you.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to my dad yesterday. He's like, "Oh my God, it's almost 40 degrees." You shut your mouth,
dude. Week and a half ago, we hit 67 degrees.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all for it. It can go to 70 right now. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I'd like it to rain the whole month of March, but I don't want any snow. I'd like it to be rain.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'd rather see rain in the spring than snow in the winter.
Yeah.
But I kind of like we've had it pretty nice here in New England the last 2 or 3 weeks. We get every other day we get an inch or two of snow, but do the math. 20 days of an inch or two of snow, it adds up.
Yeah.
You know, and I like it. I like to have a little bit of snow around, keeps the ground from getting frozen up terribly. But I will admit, when we all go to Pheasant Fest, what is it, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, that period, if it rained hot water the whole time I was away and I came back to bare ground, that'd be okay.
Sure.
Because when you start maple sugar season, the last thing you want to be doing is walking through 2 feet of snow, trying to load a couple 5-gallon pails of sap.
Right. George, my dad wants to know if he can get some more maple syrup.
Oh, hell yeah.
He goes, he's got one more time of waffles or pancakes and he's done. And he goes, God damn, is that stuff good?
It is. I'm telling you, you know, everybody says that. They always say, oh, ours is the best. Ours is the best. But I got
He did. He told me that's the best maple syrup I've ever ate.
Well, I got an uncle that's fairly particular. He's don't get me wrong. He's an old Yankee, but he's retired, of course. He's a perfectionist. So a lot of people around our area, you know, they tap. There's a lot of small family operations that will tap anywhere from 100 to 1,000 trees, you know, and they'll make anywhere from 5 gallons a year to 200 gallons a year. But the thing my uncle does is it's all buckets. There's no tubing, no pipeline.
Yeah.
So think about that for a second. So the sap is gathered every afternoon that there's sap in a pail, and it's boiled either that afternoon or first thing the next morning. So there's no time for the bacteria to develop.
Fresh. Yeah.
And when you have the piping and the tubing, now I understand if you've got 10,000 taps, there's not enough manpower to collect all those buckets. So the tubing, it makes perfect sense. But when the sap stops running, if there's a sag, that sap sits in that line until the next time it runs. You know, and the bacteria builds up, and that's what causes your quality of your syrup to go down. You know, so if you've got nice cold sap, it doesn't have any time for any bacteria to build in it, and your syrup in your pans gets boiled right off. And the other thing is, you go to a pizza restaurant, we've all had wood-fired pizza, and it's got a nice taste to it. Well, when we boil our sap, it's wood-fired. It's wood-fired. You know, and it's a big pan. I think the pan is probably 3-4 feet wide by 12 feet long, maybe 20 feet long. I honestly don't know. But you got the smoke in the sugar house, and it's just the whole atmosphere about it. And And they do it right to a T. There's no, oh, that's close enough. Mix a little in, no, they got the hydrometer right there, and they're mixing it perfectly and running it through a filter press, and it is good syrup. It really is.
I'm not a maple syrup guy, but if I had to eat maple syrup, that is pretty good.
Yeah. It's
it's
rather addicting, if you will. And we got like I said, in our area, and even more so once you get over into Vermont, because there are more maple orchards over in Vermont. But it's hard to find the people that they'll sacrifice the quantity to go for the quality. That's what's hard to find.
Well, just think, George, this will be the last year. Well, I don't even know. Will you get to do it this year?
Yeah, I will. Usually about the middle, but of course it all depends on the weather. Yeah. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's later, but yeah, you're making syrup the end of March, beginning of April, and I'll get to help them tap. That's the fun part. Yeah. You go out and you tap and put the buckets out and stuff. I'd like to try.
You ain't gonna do that over here.
No,
nobody's gonna let you tap the one tree they have.
I'd like to try to do I'd like to try to get a podcast in from out there, right from the sugar house.
That'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
Maybe even if it was an Instagram live type of thing.
Yeah. Vlog it. Yeah.
One of the things that's kind of cool about our sugar house, it's a pretty good size one, is the interior decorating are all the deer we've shot over the last 2 or 3 lifetimes. Yeah. The 3 of us that hunted out of that place, and most of them are local. There's a lot of ivory on the wall, if you will. It's pretty cool. Awesome. And the steam is in there so thick, depending on the barometric pressure of the day or the atmosphere, and some days you can't see across it, and other days it's crystal clear in there, and there's a lot of lies being told, and a lot of sugar houses, which is kind of cool, is it's a good place to go party and have a few drinks and laugh and stuff like that. We don't do much drinking. Everybody's a reformed alcoholic, it seems, in our family, but it's just all the good old stories, and the lies that take place in there, and and it's amazing the amount of visitors you get, because you can see it from the road if you know where to look. You'll see these people once a year. They'll stop in. Oh, hi! I just wanted to stop by and see it. And they like walking out there in the mud and checking you out, and they usually buy a little bit of syrup and off they go. And they bring the kids, and the next generation, show them how the whole process works.
We were worried about you if you fell down or whatnot out there.
Is that for the cold or the dog farts?
It might be for the dog farts. How you doing, buddy?
It's really cold out. It's really cold out.
We were about ready to send Wes on the.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was like, God damn, he's gone a long time.
11.5-year-old dog.
Was he clear over there by my camper again?
He was over in the goddamn tree row.
Oh, that shit ass.
Really?
The last week, he is just like,
God,
I'm gone. See you later.
It's negative 25-degree air temperature outside. It's negative. Well, I'll tell you exactly how cold it is right now. And then he acts like, I get over there and he acts like he couldn't even hear that I was calling him.
He looked at you and he said,
"Oh, negative 17."
It feels like negative 43 right now.
He looked at you.
73% humidity, 15-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah.
Oh.
And when you got there, he said, "What?"
Yeah. Exactly.
He looks at you like, "Oh, what are you doing over here?"
I had to walk all the way across the damn stubble field. I get over there and I yell at him, and he just goes, "Oh, hi.
Hey, Dad.
What do you want?"
You're out here. You're out here too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Isn't this
fun? What an asshole!
Hey, this is
I
my
had to
spot.
come back inside, and I had to gear up for an Arctic expedition.
This is my spot. Go find your own spot.
God.
Yeah. Well, Tyler was gone. Anytime I'd let him out, I'd have to go search for him.
I don't know what the hell's got
He'd
into
be
him.
over here just peeing wherever my dogs were, and I'd come around the corner and be like, "Hey, get back over here!" And he looks at you like, "Oh, yeah,
What?
okay,
Yeah, I guess.
I guess it's time to go in."
This is my place.
Yeah.
My place. Don't tell me what to do.
You're not in charge.
I'll tell you what it is. Jesse
You're not the boss of me.
Jesse just came out of heat like 2 days ago. And like to the point where when I went and played the pool tournament this last week, and I took Jesse with just because Rusty didn't eat.
God.
Rusty didn't eat from Friday the week before until Tuesday or Wednesday. Like he would not eat a piece of food
because he went
worked up
and to a pool tournament the weekend before this weekend. And so I had all the dogs when she was in full blown heat. And I mean, it was an absolute freaking train wreck around here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, these two boys in this house were
they were green-eyed monsters.
Driving me nuts.
Yeah.
That's the way George was in high school, I bet.
That's the way I was in high school.
Right out of high school, it got bad.
There was about 10 or 20 years after high school that were a little rough on you, were there?
There was a reason I didn't go to college.
Right. Right.
I would have self-destructed. I would have exploded.
So I'm just glad he finally started eating again, because CJ just came out of heat a couple weeks before that, and he got skinny. And then he quit eating for 6 days this time, and he'd just lay in front of her kennel when she was locked up and just lay there. And if Bo walked over, he'd growl at him, but he wouldn't that's where he was.
I thought they were going to get in a fight when I opened the door, and they're like facing off right in front of her kennel, just growling at each other. I'm like, nope, we ain't doing this.
Yeah.
Somebody's going in the kennel.
You'd think after you turn 80 years old in dog years, you wouldn't care so much anymore. Apparently it still works. So
no. Have you not seen what goes on at old folks' homes?
That's fair.
That little blue pill is the worst thing that's ever happened to America.
There's a lot of STDs going on at the old folks' home, bud.
That's what George has to look forward to in 2 or 3 years.
Oh God. I was have you watched that series Landman?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They take the old folks people out.
Oh yeah.
I love that show. That's a great show.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
George is going to move up here and become a landman.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I would, except for that part about getting the grain sack put over your head and then beating the crap out of you.
Well, we don't have cartel up here.
Not anymore. Anyways,
we have the Amish. We have the Mennonites over in Montana, so you got to watch out for them.
Nah.
Yeah, you can see the dust. You can see the dust coming off the horse and carriage. You're fine.
Even George can outrun a horse and carriage.
I don't know.
I don't run unless it's really
get on that. He's got to get on that elliptical, and then he'll be all right.
That's right.
That's right. Ground on that though.
So I missed way too much of the conversation to even try to catch up on what all you guys talked about.
We just talked a little bit about the sap.
Oh, making syrup.
And then I was telling Tim about all the pheasants over here by Tom's this morning,
and all the sharp tails,
and the Huns. And
you need to. You probably need to designate that the last week of season to go thin out some of them roosters.
I did that this year, and
I mean like all of you though.
Next year we will. If we're not south, because I don't want to do January in North Dakota again.
I don't blame.
I'm getting soft in my old age, and I'm absolutely okay admitting it.
I don't mind it if I had something to do.
This year's been I talked about it with a friend of mine this morning. It's been a real North Dakota winter. Other than the fact we don't have a lot of snow, it has been really cold.
Yeah.
Really cold with very few warm-ups. And that's just not typical.
I went and looked at a snowmobile today.
Yeah, he did. I was there.
You need to buy it. Then that means that it won't snow anymore.
Exactly, for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, go buy that thing. It won't snow anymore.
Yeah, and the only reason why I'm wanting it is I don't want to pull that big-ass freaking 2-man fish house by my hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm thinking snowmobile trailer.
Well, we got the little,
I got one.
We got that little trailer
utility trailer.
That utility trailer that worked just fine.
Yeah,
and I have one in Wyoming that's a 8-foot wide, 12-foot long. Something like that.
I think that one's 6 by 10 or something like that. But yeah, it'd be fine. I think eventually, and I kind of want a snowmobile. I've always kind of wanted a snowmobile. Say I'm snowmobile curious. And once George gets up here, I know he was a snowmobiler from way back. And they do have these little poker runs and stuff like that would be kind of fun, I think. Just something to do that's kind of social during the wintertime where, you're out there and you're doing stuff. And then they do have a purpose. Like we'd use it for snaring in winters like this, coyote calling, ice fishing.
Oh, yeah.
But side by side with the heated cabin track sounds a lot better to me.
Yeah. Okay, you look at $3,000 for this sled that we're looking at.
What is it?
Or $4,800 for
48,000.
Yeah, 48,000.
Yeah, you missed a zero on that one.
That's what I meant. 48,000.
What's a $3,000 sled? Tell me what it is.
It was a 2000. Well, the one we looked at today was a 2003 Polaris 800.
Yeah. A pretty nice sled.
It's a triple. It's a triple. You don't want it. They have troubles with those, keeping them synchronized. Get a twin. Yep, get a twin. Okay. That's why I asked you what it was. Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one I've been talking to the guy about, he ain't got back to me.
Be a lot more interested in that one. That was like a 2012 Skidoo.
Yeah, it's a Skidoo set up to ice fish already.
It has a bracket on the front for the ice auger.
And it's got a basket on the back, already has the tow hitch on it.
Yep. And the crazy thing is, it's the same price. Like you can go
and it's about 2,000 less hours on it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he wants too much for that one.
The one we looked at today.
If he wanted, 1,900 for it,
I would think about
probably would have bought it. Yep. But
because they just redid the engine in it last year.
Right. It started right up when he started it, and it sounded great. I mean, and I know that those 800 triples, they made a pile of power. Like those, when they were running right, they made a bunch of power. But
and the track has probably 60% life left on it.
Right. But it
is what it is.
The thing with snowmobiles, and the reason I've never had one, I've always wanted one. Down. But anything that you have to carry extra spark plugs and an extra belt in at all times, is it just
That's why I'm thinking I might just go find myself a very nice used 4-wheeler.
Mm.
And I have the same thing, then I can use it in the summertime and the wintertime.
Right. Except like they just don't go through snow. I mean, like they'll go through a bit of snow. Yeah, but I mean,
they ain't gonna go where a snowmobile goes by no means. But I don't plan on going that far anyway.
Right. But yeah, I think and I've done it before because our buddy Mike's got a snowmobile, and and the thing is, our buddy Bray has like 7. We could just use them.
Just use one of his.
He doesn't ever use them. He never trades anything in. And he gets a new sled every 3 years, and he just keeps the old one.
Yeah. So he's got a garage asked him the other night at the bar. I'm like, so would you be interested in selling me one of your used sleds? I know it ain't freaking trashed out. Oh no, I don't. He
doesn't sell sleds. No.
How many freaking sleds you need?
He's got 7.
He's got 7.
All of them. I need all of them.
Late 90s, early 2000s, we had a pack of us guys. It was just before everybody got married and settled down and had kids, and we all had sleds. Oh, it was 10 or 12 of us, and we would get on our snowmobiles, say here in Littleton, and ride to Quebec City and back. In Quebec City, in a vehicle is 6 or 7 hours.
Sure.
And you would throw a set of saddlebags on, and you had an old paper map. There was no GPS. Oh boy, was that fun! It was so against the law, everything we were doing, and man, did we have a good time. It was Daytona 500 all the way up and all the way back. And somewhere in there, every year it never failed. There was always a phone call made to somebody that couldn't go that year. Hey, I'm in Shabugamoo. Can you come get me? Yep, I'll be there first thing in the morning. And it was about as much fun as you could possibly have.
Well, and kind of the other thing that I'd like to do with them, like you get up into the Turtle Mountains, they have all kinds of groomed snowmobile trails up there and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it'd be kind of fun to go up there and just ride those trails and scout grouse. You know what I mean? To go up there and scout roughies and just kind of figure out where the public land and boundaries are at. And there's some forest service land up there. There's a bunch of plots, everything else. But the snowmobile trails go all the way through the woods up there from lake to lake, and there's all these little towns and everything else. I think that'd be a riot. I always thought that'd be a lot of fun.
That was the fun of it up in Canada, Quebec. If you can go online, you can look it up and stuff. Quebec, the province of Quebec, has the best snowmobile trail system in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
And then there's great ice fishing in Quebec.
Yeah. You would be
first thing I think about
75, 80 miles an hour on these beautiful trails. Come over a knoll, and every town had a little steeple, it had a gas station, and you'd pull in, and they always had a bar,
right?
Or an outing club on a lake. God, we'd pull into like an outing club on a lake on a Tuesday afternoon at 1:00. You wouldn't leave there till 4. And what a time we would have. Always playing the folk music in there, and everybody was happy and drinking and carrying on.
So back then, did they have those poker runs too? You know what a poker run is?
Yeah, a lot of the local clubs used to have poker runs. Yeah, a lot of the local clubs would have on Sunday they would have a lunch or a dinner or a barbecue or something like that. And funny story. Yep. We were over in Peacham, Vermont. It was about 10 of us, and it was first thing in the morning. It was a Sunday, and we were headed to the Peacham barbecue, and we had to stop for quite a few stops. Had quite a few allegedly had beverages, and we pulled in there. And we're following the signs on the little dinner pie plates, barbecue. Yeah, we got there. There's a barbecue at the church.
Oh no, you guys are just hammered.
I walked up to the front door. I said, "Is this the Snowmobile barbecue?" And the lady says, yes. How many are there? I says, I'll be just a minute. I went back and I said, hey guys, we're out of here. I said,
we got to go find pizza.
Yeah. And the only reason those guys hadn't got there yet, they're loading their jackets up with more beer. And I said, we got to go. I said, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. This is not our place to be.
So is what they do here, because we don't have trails, but is what we do have is alongside the highways, there's these great big wide ditches. Mm-hmm. And so there's snowmobile clubs in North Dakota that'll go out and they'll actually run a groomer across the ditches. And so they'll have a poker run starting in Minot that'll hit Burlington, Foxhome, Carpio, Donnybrook, all the way up to Kenmare, and then all these other little small towns back. And each bar you stop at, you get one card. And then at the end of the day, you have 8 cards, you make your best poker hand, and somebody wins what the hell ever.
Yep.
And there'll be 100 people doing that, and it's just it's just fun. Well, dangerous. It's like, it's the only, it's like the last acceptable form of drinking and driving, I guess. I mean, I don't think very many of these guys are stopping at the bars and having a ginger ale. So, no. But every one of them has food, and it's just kind of a fun thing to do on a Saturday.
Yeah, that's what they down here and farther south, like into Missouri, it's all side by side rides, and you get 300-400 people on one of them side by side rides. It's a blast.
Sure,
it's fun to get out and do stuff like that.
Yeah, side by sides are great.
Yeah,
and and this year out in Nevada, you can't do that without a side-by-side. You just,
you would be done walking before you got to where the birds were.
Well, and because you can't get down any of those roads to get even close to the mountains. And if you get some snow or rain, you're stuck. You can't do anything. So, and then, here, me and Wes have been talking about it a pile. Get one of those and me and George too, get one of those side-by-sides with an enclosed cab and a heater in there. We'd use it for duck hunting. We use it for fishing. We'd use it for ice fishing. We'd use it for trapping, predator calling. I mean, we'd use the crap out of that thing.
Going to Dairy Queen?
Going to the Dairy Queen? Yes, absolutely. I just looked at one the other night that, no kidding, had 27,000 miles on it. Used down in Dickinson. And I was like, I don't want anything to do with that thing. But then it got me thinking, it's like, holy shit, you can get that kind of miles out of those things.
That's it.
And they're like, we just put a new motor in at 22,000 miles, but other than that, it runs great. It was only 3 years old. I was like, did you guys drive it to Fargo every week? Where are you going in this thing? But they'll go 65 miles an hour, and they got blinkers and AC and GPS and everything else. It's like, God almighty. I mean, that's a real machine.
Well, you look at it. For $2,000 you have a brand new F-150.
Yeah, and pretty loaded up, a decently optioned
SR,
one.
whatever they have.
STXs?
STX, it's 41,000. So it's 7,000 less than the side by side.
Right. I mean, they're a whole damn vehicle. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
But I have figured it out. Why Tyler plays pool, and they throw darts in the wintertime here.
You got to have something to do.
Because there is nothing to frickin' do.
Yeah, when the weather's cold. I mean, if the weather's decent, which it normally is, you got predator calling, you got ice fishing. And a lot of times, even in January, we'll get those stretches of days where it's above zero. We can go down to the tail race and open water fish. Yeah. And the open water fishing down there this time of the year is fantastic. You can go down there and catch big ling. You can catch big brown trout, big rainbows. You can catch walleyes. So there's a lot of stuff to do, just not this year.
Yeah.
And but I've played a pool tournament this past weekend, the weekend before, nothing this coming weekend, and then I have state teams the weekend after that, and then there's a couple in March after I get back from Pheasant Fest. It gives me something to do that I get to go out and do something.
He drugged me along 2 weeks ago
to pool league.
Yeah,
on Thursday night,
because I hadn't been anywhere in I don't know, close to a month.
Yeah, he's just a hermit. He's just out there in his camper.
You're coming with me. I'm like, I don't want to go sit and watch you guys shoot pool. But
is Is that when the West came out and got?
No,
that was the week before.
That was the week before at the leader
here. Yeah,
and my dad, I'd never been chastised so bad in my life for being a grown man and knowing my old man telling me I should have known when to say when was when and stopped.
Sometimes it's just fun.
It just snuck up on me.
Sometimes it's just fun,
Until that last one, I was good.
Yeah, he was just real chatty, real
that
happy.
Last one just, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I think Carrie and Lauren made you a good night drink, is what they did.
I do too, because my hearing went absolutely slurred on that last. I took 3 big drinks out of that last one, and my hearing went sound like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But yeah, that next Thursday, I drug him to pool league, and he literally said those exact words. He's like, "I don't want to go watch you guys shoot pool. That's gonna be boring." I was like, "Well, dude, you're friends with Alex, the guy who shoots on my pool team. Like, we're just gonna go and sit there and bullshit about hunting."
That's kind of what we did.
There was just random games of pool going on in there every once in a while.
But I did learn that their drinking team has a pool shooting problem.
It's true. Yeah.
Did they reschedule that predator hunt? The coyote contest?
They did for the weekend after, but the weather was still shitty. Me and Wes didn't go.
We didn't go.
No.
The wind was blowing 30 to 40 that weekend when they had it.
You just can't call anything in that weather.
Unless you're right by the slough that you're calling to, they're going to know you're there anyway.
And the people that won it, they went out and shot them with thermals at night.
Yeah.
And which is legal. But the wind dies down at night, but you can't see. We don't have thermals. So, those guys just go out there and they're all landowners and everything else. And I
wasn't going to waste my $150 on my part because it was $300 per team.
Yeah. If the weather would have been nice, we would have went.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't. So since January, we've had 3 days of cottontail hunting and a day of fishing. And I've had as many pool tournaments. So
no, you've had 4.
Damn.
Yeah.
And
so
Saturday was actually nice here. And I'm like, I'm stuck here with all these dogs. I can't go nowhere.
That's when he went nuts and went shopping.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. So listen to this, George. When you get your driver's license here, you make sure they spell your freaking last name right on it.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Check
too.
it twice, 3, 4, 5.
Your last name up.
Yeah.
He couldn't apply for a turkey license right away.
And I never caught it.
I think that lady at the DMV just wants to see you again.
So I had to make a mad
that's
dash
what it was.
back to freaking Minot, set up an appointment, and I had to. They on Fridays they only do licenses until 11 o'clock, and then they do driving tests. I got my appointment at like 9:40. The reservation for my appointment at 11.
Yeah.
So it was a mad dash. And when you go over by the missile tower where the big complex is there, George, over by the plots.
Yep.
The snow drifts across that road. Let me put it this way. I wasn't turning around and coming back.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah. Yeah. Full send in the Nissan.
Full send in the Nissan.
Yeah.
I had to get to town, but I finally got there, got my driver's license. The lady's like, what do you mean? I said, you spelled my last name wrong. On this piece of paper that you gave me to check, it's correct.
So on the actual license, it's not wrong. Yeah. So he couldn't apply for his turkey license until he got it fixed.
Well, here's the thing. When I log into my account, my North Dakota Game and Fish account, it wouldn't let me log in because it was saying my driver's license name didn't match. So I call them, and the lady's like on the, and she was very helpful. I tell you, talking to North Dakota Game and Fish is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That lady's like, well, hold on a minute here. You can hear her typing. She's like, pull out your driver's license. So I pull it out. And she goes, look at your last name. And I look at it. And she goes, they spelled your last name wrong. I'm like, looking at, holy shit, they did.
Yeah. Never heard of that one before.
I've never seen that one before.
So the lady at Game and Fish did whatever she did so I could apply for my license. She goes, but I would get to town today and get it changed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, if I got stopped, who the hell is this?
No, right.
That ain't me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, they spelled it Larabee.
Yeah, Larabee.
Larabee. She missed a vowel in there.
Did you turn it into a real ID?
No,
because
I still didn't have everything they needed.
He should now.
I do now.
Yeah, he got his insurance paperwork.
I got my insurance for here instead of my mailing address.
Instead of his P.O. box, yeah.
So,
well, gentlemen, it's been fun. It's been real. So
sometime next week, Tim, we'll do that pheasant one.
Yep. Just let me know.
We'll do that next week and get that one out. I don't think we'll do another plus size until we get to Pheasant Fest.
Yeah.
So are you going to be at Pheasant Fest on Wednesday?
No.
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning.
Okay. Well, if you need help getting your stuff set up, let us know. I know you said you got a bunch of people coming with you. And maybe right after that, before the concert for conservation, we can go and we can do a plus size in person.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're going to have a podcast room set up down there, but if not, we got a big giant ass VRBO that's only like 10 minutes away, so we can go and get one done there. It's going to be a ton of fun, and I can't wait to get down there. It's going to be a good time.
Gonna get to experience it finally.
Yeah, he's never been. He's a virgin.
You've never been. Well, we're gonna pop that cherry.
Well, I was gonna come last year to Sioux Falls, but the snow geese were hanging around my parents, so I went and hunted snow geese.
Priorities,
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for listening. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will talk to you guys at Pheasant Fest, as well as keep an eye out for that pheasant hunting. Pheasant hunting, I don't know, 303 masterclass, whatever you want to call it. We'll be putting that out next week with Tim as well. Talk to you guys next time.
See you guys.
Thank you.